We have moved into the music hall here at FM 101.9, and very, very happy to be joined by.
It's you. I just was looking down. I didn't realize it was you talking. Okay.
And I thought you were trying to screw me up.
No.
Actually, we're here with Johnette Napolitano, and we're very glad to have you here, Johnette,
Thank you
because
very much.
this was scheduled once before, and we were
I'm
looking
sorry
forward
about
to
that.
And
it
I
was
tell you,
a high pressure day, and the House of Blues has a strict sound check schedule, so we had to maintain that. And I'm very sorry. You can blame them though.
I tell you
Call
what,
Dan Aykroyd.
we will just let it be.
Thanks for having me back, though.
We
I do
weren't
appreciate it.
weren't angry, and no need to apologize.
Okay,
We're just
thank
glad to
you.
have you here today.
Okay, thanks.
And of course, you have a new band, a new album, Pretty and
Yeah.
Twisted,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been out on the road now. You were telling me for 7 weeks.
Yeah. We started before the record came out in Las Vegas, and then wound up in L.A. So it's been a while. We've been through Canada, Toronto, Vancouver, the state, New York, Boston, everywhere. We've been there, done it.
Well, you look well. You look happy.
Well, thanks.
And why don't you're going to give us a couple songs from the album then?
If you don't mind.
Sure, no,
I would like
absolutely.
to thank the lovely and talented Jim Mankey for lending me his Champ amp today, so that I may not be unplugged. And this is called Souvenir from the new record, eh? Will you wonder by the fall? Will I wonder, was I here at all? Look at me now. Look at you, slipping through my fingers, all I'm trying to hold on to. Wait a minute, wait a year. I have waited so long for you to be here. Can I have a souvenir so I remember I was here? I don't want to see you fade away. In the morning, in your skin, listen to that blood beat we were swimming in the morning. From now on, will you notice how long I've been gone? Can I have a souvenir so I remember I was here? I don't want to see you fade away. Can I have a souvenir so I remember I was here? And I don't want to see you fade away.
the woman apologizes too much. The woman is like totally apologizing all here.
I'm sorry.
When you belted that out, it reminded me
I'm
of the
sorry.
time I saw Concrete Blonde and what an incredible, visceral experience it was.
Oh, thanks. Where was that now?
It was in Philadelphia at the Chestnut Cabaret.
Oh, yeah. I've done a few gigs there. Yeah.
I was like,
Thanks.
yeah, whatever, Concrete Blonde. Then I came out of that place going, oh my God.
Oh. We didn't hurt you, did we?
No.
That's all right.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
I'm just going to
Thank you. I
read
didn't know that.
this line out of the bio here.
Okay.
Revered songwriter, vocalist. This is directly off the bio from the record company. Revered songwriter, vocalist, bassist with the seminal L.A. punk band Concrete Blonde. Johnette Napolitano has been blah 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 blah, and then it goes on to talk about your new album. And I guess my question is, was Concrete Blonde a punk band?
It would. Well. I don't think any. I mean, I do have respect for the term. I think it depends on how you perceive the word punk. I think we did get started during the punk years in L.A., which was early '80s, late '70s. That's what made me start a band, because that was the movement that said to everyone, "You can do it, so do it." So I did, But I don't think we ever played really punk music. I think Jim is an incredible guitar player.
Jim Mankey.
Not to say punk guitar players are bad or anything, but I mean, he was just steeped in a lot of things. He's a flamenco player, a classical player. Andres Segovia, he saw, play. So it's like we did have a degree of musicianship there, which was not cool during the punk years.
What was it about? You said that was. There was something happening there that said to you that you could do it. What do you mean by that exactly?
It just meant that anybody can pick up an instrument and do it, and that's what punk was about to me. Anybody can pick up an instrument. I had never played bass in my life, and I just said, well, I mean, everybody else is doing it, and I can do it too, and let's put a band together. Everybody seems to be putting bands together, and that was kind of the working class message of the punk movement at that time. The first wave was like, hey, we're suburban, or we're inner city kids, and life sucks and we're bored, and let's just put a band together and see what happens, whether you have two strings on your bass and can't write songs or don't know any songs. That was the beauty of it, is it was a people's movement.
This was a time in L.A. X was happening,
right,
and the Blasters.
Sure. X, the Blasters, the Go-Go's, the Plugs, Wall of Voodoo, everything, the Cramps. I mean, it was just, there was room for everybody.
Was it a happy time for you? I mean, I know there's a lot of anger in the music, but
that was one of the happiest times in my life. That was actually one of the most inspiring times in my life. Was that I was 20 years old. I'm 38 this month, so I was 20 or something then, 19 or something, and I just thought, well, this is so happening. This is like it's wide open, and to see something wide open for a change when everything else seemed to be so closed. When you graduated from high school, everybody was saying to you, what do you want to do for a living? You don't know when you're 18 what you want to do with your life. It's an unfair question to ask an 18-year-old. It's an unfair question to ask a 30-year-old. It's just an unfair question, period. So to see something wide open that you could actually go and do something and have fun, I think we were all kind of hell-bent on having fun in life at that point. And I was very inspired by the LA scene. I'd seen Alex Harvey at the Roxy. I'd seen X. I'd seen, the Psychedelic Furs first tour. I'd seen all kinds of things that were just making a big difference to me. Same way rock and roll made a difference, when the Beatles played Ed Sullivan. I don't think, things go in cycles, and I don't see it really that much different now. So I don't begrudge the kids that like, Green Day is a great band. I mean, it's all happening. Bad Religion. I mean, Jim and I worked with them on their first record. I mean, Posh Boy and Lisa Fancher and everybody in the early '80s.
It does seem like it sort of travels around the country, though. In 1979 to '83 or '82 or whatever, I don't know what the boundaries were. L.A. was
right. Well, New York, England, New York, L.A. It worked its way over to the coast, and then the rural kids get it, and they're the ones that need it the most, I think. From I mean, my limited experience, but I have traveled around this country more than a lot of people, and whenever you get out to those rural areas where the only hope they have is listening to a record and thinking, well, life can be different than this. That sort of hits home to me.
It's kind of interesting this came up because tonight at the Alligator Lounge, you have John Doe playing solo, formerly of X, and Tito and Tarantula.
There you go.
Which is Tito from the Plugs.
Sure. So yeah. I mean, our friends Los Illegals opened for us in the House of Blues, and they started with Tito and Los Lobos, and I mean, that's, to me, this is my home, Los Angeles, so the East LA influence is always been there for me.
Well, it's great to see, like, people from that scene getting older and growing up and staying in music and keeping it together.
Yeah.
So how does Pretty and Twisted differ from Concrete Blonde? You broke Concrete Blonde up and started a new band. I mean, what is the actual? Is this like evolution? Is this just a name change? You're playing guitar rather than bass now, I see.
Here I am, because it wouldn't work very well in this context for me to bring a bass in.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get a lot. But I play guitar and I play keyboards and I even play drums on the new record. I like to play all kinds of instruments badly, and that's just once again it goes back to your punk philosophy. Hey man, I'm not a drummer, but I want to play. I want to bang on these drums. I want to play guitar. I want to play bass. I want to do whatever I can get my hands on, and I don't really feel like I have to be a virtuoso, because that's never what it's been about. But Jim and I talk all the time. Hey Jim. I think he's listening, actually. Jim. But I mean, I talk to Jim all the time, and we're working. We co-produced the Los Illegals record that I'm hoping to get a deal for, and it's in Spanish and English, and they call it flamenco metal. So, I don't know what's different about it. I think just the musicianship is different. We had a lot of personnel problems in Concrete Blonde. We had drummer problems all the time, and Concrete Blonde started as Dream 6, which was me and Jim, and it finished as me and Jim. And Jim and I still work together on certain things. And I met Danny Montgomery, who is the best drummer I've ever worked with in my life. I met him in a bar in Paris last year. He's from San Francisco. And he played with Christine Lakeland, who I notice is on your wall here. She's cool. Uh-huh. And he's a great guy. He's great. And Mark Moreland, who's in Wall of Voodoo, who I've been a fan of for years and years. And it just, a great band to me has always been the sum total of charismatic, great individual people. And in that respect, Pretty and Twisted's the same thing that Concrete Blonde was, only it's different people.
Can you do another Pretty and Twisted tune for us?
I'll try. Oh my God, I have to change my little pedal.
Oh right,
here,
that's right, the change.
That's okay. Hey, look, it takes 2 minutes. Watch.
2 minutes is a long time in radio.
Oh wait, I know. Okay, no dead air here. Here we go. We're plugging in the pedal. There we go.
Oh, that wasn't 2 minutes. That was.
I told you.
That was
no roadies
10
needed.
seconds. Johnette Napolitano with us in the Music Hall here at FM 101.9. What are we gonna get now?
This is a song I co-wrote with a good friend of mine, who I like very much, Paul Westerberg, who is a replacement, of course, and he's doing a new record from what I hear. I'm looking forward to hearing it personally. So, Paulito, I hope I don't screw this up, because you'll make fun of me forever. There's a stranger in my life, running from God knows why. There's a stranger in the cold, waiting outside the door, but I don't care where you've been. There's a stranger out there, and I'm willing to let him in. There's a stranger in my arms, whispering somebody's name. There's a stranger in my face, safe in this hiding place, but I don't care where you've been. There's a stranger out there, and I'm willing to let him in. Stranger than pictures that hang on the wall and start bleeding. Stranger than fiction, the life you and I now are leading. There's a stranger at the door. There's something I felt here before. He keeps pounding at my heart, sounding just like an alarm. It'll change when he finds the writing on the wall, and the stranger will find that we're really not strangers at all. No, we're really not strangers at all. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Johnette Napolitano.
Thank you very much.
Song
it's
is
really nice.
co-written by you
Paul
and Paul
Westerberg.
Westerberg, and is on the new album.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, great. So you played
Thank
House
you.
of Blues a couple of weeks, like 3 weeks
Yeah,
ago. Any plans to bring the band back to for another gig?
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping to go out before the end of the year.
Good.
We're undergoing a few changes right now in the business boring sort of sense, and I hope to have that settled within a couple of weeks. Things are looking really good, and we'll get out there again. You know, Danny's doing great, and I talked to him last night, and I have here, as I showed you.
Oh, right. I forgot to mention that. Oh, good. I'm glad you brought that up.
I need to bring this up. I went out to my mailbox the other day, and there's a plain brown envelope. In this envelope is an 8x10 of the handsomest man in the world, and it says, inscribed personally to me, to Johnette, regards, Marlon Brando.
It exists. I'm looking at it right now.
Everybody can have his baby but me, huh? I won't take that personally.
Now, what are the
but-
things you have on your wall you were telling me?
Well,
Now?
I have, a kissed autographed picture of Marlon Brando. If there was a fire,
Yeah.
I told you I
That's
would
right.
take that first. This 56 Les Paul Jr. that Jim gave me for Christmas, and my dog Chi-Chi, my Chihuahua, and that's it. The cats will have to fend for themselves.
So how did Marlon knows you because, or
I dedicated the record to him, and I admire him tremendously. He's just an incredible. He's a fighter, and he is compassionate and misunderstood, and I think all those keywords I like. I admire him tremendously. He's inspired me tremendously.
well, it must have been quite a boost to open up
Oh,
your
you
mailbox
have no
and see
idea.
that.
I danced down the street to the market. Oh, it was great. Made 5 copies, faxed it to my mom. It was great.
Jeanette, thanks for so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me. I'm sorry about the schedule, but I'm glad that you had me again.
Glad we had a chance to do it, and good luck with Pretty and Twisted, and
Thank you.
we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks very much. All right.